Welcome to Olds Mob 455, back at the shop, and this is the finished project, working on the replacement seats for the 68 Javelin. What happened was the seats were very expensive to fix. For the cost of these replacement seats that you can get off the internet, we couldn't even buy the foam replacement pads, let alone buy the covers and then pay to have them redone. We could have done it, but they usually turn out all wrinkly. You wanted to have somebody else do it. So when we ended up getting these replacement seats, the tracks were not the same distance as the originals. Some guys would say, why don't you just drill new holes into the floor pan and be done with it? Well, the owner of the car doesn't like modifying anything, likes to keep everything stock, doesn't want his floor pan looking like a bunch of Swiss cheese, doesn't like holes going through the firewall and stuff, so he made adapter plates, and just to get rid of some weight, drilled some holes through it, located the seats, just centered them up, and then moved them further back because he's really tall. Now the seats are further back. You don't have your knees up like this with the steering wheel hitting you, and it's easier to get in and out of the car. The whole thing worked out. Touch these up with black paint, put the holes back into the original holes, and it's a done deal. They're a very nice looking seat. I can tip it like this. This is the flap that covers it up. But they're pretty nice, red stitching. You can have a 5-point harness come through there. But this is the deal we've been having. They had them on these little spacers. You could get an angle shot here. So all your weight is on these little washers. He didn't like that. So we went with aluminum strips and sturdied it up a lot better. At a later date, after the roll cage is installed and he has a 5-point harness, this is a nice thing to have. So you have your straps coming through here. You get out, it can lay flat, look nice. You're not having these things, flapping all over the place. And it keeps them on you. Let's say if you got in an accident, they won't come off your shoulders. It's usually they're tied to the back brace bar, and then they come through here, and you want them coming over your shoulders. If he's going to be driving it vigorously, you always got to worry about that chance of going off road and getting in a severe accident. Now, there's a lot more support keeping you from slipping and sliding around on them old vinyl flat seats. And the cushions were, they weren't very comfortable. This thing is now set back far enough. You can see the steering wheel is very large, and getting in was kind of a job. Now you can have the seat all the way back, and it's easier to get in. So anytime you're working on a project where you don't want your welding sparks to get on, if you got a TIG welder, it's nicer. There's no sparks flying around. But all we have is a MIG welder. Sparks fly all over heck. You want to keep sparks from getting on your windshield or your side glass, you can protect it. This situation is you got a material seat that all these little hot BBs would be making it like perforated material, and we need to weld those brackets on these tracks. So here we are covering the whole thing up, and then I hold this ground on there and he tacks it up. Then we get it inside the car, he marks it, then we take it back off and got to weld it out here. It's a lot of fiddle farting around. It takes a lot of time just putting in something that doesn't fit. You modify one thing, you always got to modify 2 other things besides it. And another thing I was going to tell you about, one thing nice about these seats, even with all this welding on the brackets and everything, they're like half the weight of the original seats. So anytime you can cut weight off the car, it's like making more horsepower. Both seats are mounted. They're sitting back further because the guys that drive it are really tall. But I'll show you what it's like when I get it. I mean, I can lay out in this thing. My feet don't even touch the floor pan. The latching mechanism works nice. Now my feet touch the floor. But they really hug you. They hold you in tight. You can be sliding around corners and you got these things hold you in. Oh yeah, if you get really tired, you can sleep here.